So we started something, did a thing.
We made a mess. We're one step closer to fixing our problems.
So we're finally working on the primary suite.
Woo!
Ooh, shit. So Rodney and I have never had a primary suite at any point in our adult lives. So to do this project was a really big deal and finally gave us a little bit of solace space inside our home.
So today, we are starting to build a primary suite. We're going to make a new closet. We're going to make a new bathroom and a new living room at the same time. And change that window to a door to go to the outdoor shower and redo all of the ceiling. And that's just today. So the layout of the space was kind of determined with how the floor plan worked previously. There was a small bathroom back here, and there was a storage closet in this space in the lower area of the house here. And just like in the video we saw, there was a window where we put the door. So everything kind of worked. So we did our best to be architects and engineers to make the space fit to what was already here.
It's not the ideal design ultimately. We have a whole nother design that if we could have refinanced the house and done the full thing, we would have raised the whole floor up to match the existing, and it would have been hundreds of thousands of dollars. So instead we did the budget-friendly option, which was to use what was pretty much already here and sort of reconfigure the space.
Yeah, I think ultimately we didn't really want to reinvent the wheel of what existed, and so we worked with the location of the shower fixtures, the drain, the toilet, stub outs, things of that nature, where we could make the best use of the space without needing to break the bank. So we are going to build a wall right here that's going to go this way, and this will create the dead end for the living room, which is really just the TV room. It's going to create a TV nook. And then we're going to build a door right here. And it's going to have some stairs that come down into the closet, which this will all be the closet. And then this wall will come out to like here. And so this will be a closet space. Actually, I think this won't use work. But this will be a closet space. And then there'll be a little, and then you'll walk here. And we are going to make a double shower. We're going to create a little water closet for the toilet, and then add a double vanity.
Cool.
So we can be pretty. And then a door that'll go to the outdoor shower. We'll go here. So we can be pretty and clean. That's all.
There's the window.
You want to come see her?
This feels like the tomb uncovering or something. Like,
Yeah.
I thought we ended up breaking the glass when we...
No.
that's just the window.
But it's so funny, like
A window in the wall.
of it compared to the height of the roof inside. Like this roof is so low, they literally built it off of the soffits of the house instead of.
No, yeah,
building it
exactly.
onto
Yeah,
the
yeah,
roof,
yeah,
you know
totally,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. That's what's funny. It's
Like that'll be the height of the door coming.
Right.
Yeah, close to the height of the door coming out. I think the door is like 2 inches taller than that, which is like going to take up all that space.
Yeah.
You may have noticed that when we first moved in, this large multi-purpose room downstairs was cladded in metal everywhere. Walls, ceiling, everything.
So the best theory that we have on the amount of metal that was in this room is if you were in Central Texas in 2015, we had a massive flood over Memorial Day weekend. It flooded and created a massive disaster, and a lot of people lost a lot of things. In our particular space, because we back up to a creek, the water kind of dammed up at the interstate just down the creek here, and this room apparently got about 3 to 4 inches of water in it during that flooding. So I think the previous owner's response to that was clad everything in metal and a whole bunch of silicone.
What are you finding?
silicone in this one scene. Like the whole thing is just filled with why? What were they thinking? Oh look, I just found
A diamond.
a gigantic diamond. It sounds like plastic. Yeah, so now I guarantee you they anchored that wall too. It's not even square. Like, what did they do? Just throw this door down on the ground, and drill into the ground, and went, well, that's where the wall's gonna be. This is crazy.
Is it good? Is it good?
Yeah, looks alright. I think they just built a false ceiling. I know. A lot of droppings though.
Great.
But it's fairly clean other than that. Like, comparative.
Finally taking off the last bit of the metal roof that the previous owners put up.
I'm on the deep end, watch as I dive in. I don't know the words to the song.
It's so dark, no one can see you.
Thank God. Hopefully they can't hear me either.
You want to update us what we've got done and what we found? The things we found?
What did we find?
Oh, we found 2 windows.
We found a window. We're gonna come with me. It's a new feature. So this used to be the exterior wall. It's the same siding on the house that somebody at some point took a lot of time to sand down. So of course we're gonna have to figure out what to do with this. Oh, it's still dusty. They never cleaned it. But because it's the exterior wall, the upstairs shower had a window looking out because natural light. We can't get natural light back in there without putting in a skylight. We're not going to do that until we redo the roof structure. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to reopen this window. And instead of getting natural light, what you'll get instead is a view while you shower of the TV room.
We're not actually doing that.
We are 100% doing that. And while we do that, we're going to take out the tub and put in a shower up there. Because what we're going to put outside is a soaking tub. In here, we're just going to abandon this project for now because that's way more exciting.
We can't take that shower apart until we finish this shower because we're going to have one to...
Well, I'm going to close this. This room's not going to exist. I'm about to put a wall up here and you're not going to be able to get inside here.
Because we still have to put a door in here, but we're going to sheetrock before. So tomorrow, we're going to be crawling in and out of that.
Well, we're going to crawl in it once. And I'm going to cut it out. I'm not crawling multiple times. No. Mm-mm. You know what we could do, actually? I've just decided. Since the floor is going to be raised partially to this height here, we could actually, instead of a window, we could put a door from the shower. So if you needed to go and change the channel on the TV, you could do that without even leaving the shower. We're gonna make a door. And it looks like a door from out here, if that matters at all. Come on in. Welcome to MTV Cribs. Come on, look at my humble abode. I know, you all thought it would just be marble and statues of me.
So not quite a full week into the project and we are getting into peak disaster mode. But we got progress going. Everything's just sort of crammed in places because we just have nowhere to put the stuff. So framing's up, sheetrock's beginning to go in. All the metal is now off of all the walls. We're gonna try to finish this room today and tomorrow so that we can have all this put back together. And then we'll get back over to working over there. What's going on?
Our roof is leaking. We were getting ready to put on the sheetrock, and then it rained, and it's been drizzling all day. So the nice, slow, steady rain is letting the water seep in wonderfully.
Which is why we're doing this thing in the first place.
Yeah, which is really what this whole project is to fix this. And this is just one of like 3 or 4 holes leaking today. So as we mentioned earlier, this roof was really flat that they put on. They didn't really do a great job at making sure there was an accurate pitch, and most of that was because they tucked the roof up under the soffit of the existing roof instead of cutting into the existing roof as one should. But because of that, they also used a rolled roofing. Not necessarily a bad choice because it's relatively flat, but it wasn't installed really well and eventually buckled over time. We knew of 2 locations of leaks. One was that old chimney stack that was from that wood burning fire pit thing. The other was just kind of a random location in the roof. The plywood had gotten soft, the rolled roofing buckled and had some issues, and we were aware of that. The other problem with the flat roof is during our heavy winters like 2021, we did have several massive tree branches fall on top of the roof. It did create some damage, and then that was followed by 2 hailstorms, I think, which created even more damage. And so we knew what we were getting into was going to be problematic in that there was going to be further damage from just the initial leaks that we knew about. And unfortunately, when we started to uncover a lot of the ceiling inside, we did start to realize that there were more problems that were definitely there longer than we expected them to be, causing additional damage, rotting of the wood, and so we ended up having to replace a lot more framing than we originally anticipated.
We have a wall.
And, most importantly, it is scored. Except for that board if I don't. Like, what did they do? Just throw this board down on the ground, and drill into the ground, and went, well, that's where the wall's gonna be.
Little update on where we are at. Still a disaster down here, but we have gotten the wall dividing the TV room from the new bathroom built, sheetrocked, mudded. We've started this wall and we'll be sheetrocking that today. And the roof, we actually bought shingles and stuff. We have to redo the roof before we can insulate and do all this. Then over here, we have the door framed in and ready to go for the new bathroom. All the lights off over here, but after we are done putting the new roof on, we'll start tear out of this, and it's coming along. Doing something different today. Hey, we are roofers. So some things should be hired out to professionals, and roofing's definitely one of those things, but we do have some experience. I redid my grandfather's roof when I was 19.
I redid my grandparents when I was a teenager.
So almost 2 decades of experience.
What could go wrong? One of the first things that you do want to take care of prior to putting down your initial membrane is patching any holes or damaged areas. In our case, we had an old kind of flute chimney from an old like wood stove, wood burner situation that we took out years ago, but the area around it was damaged. So we did cut that out. We used a 3/4 inch subflooring plywood to replace that piece. We used things like caulk and some tar, and then we did a double layer of the protective membrane underneath to make sure there was no additional leaks in the future.
So far, so good. You first have a self-adhesive roll that goes down, and then the asphalt roll that goes on top of it.
First roll is down. This is the membrane, protective membrane, but it's a self-adhesive. You cut 45s at the corners to let the next layer lay down flat to the existing roof. You do the same there so it doesn't create a water channel, which is what happened with the old roof, which is why you see the buckling. So we'll cut those, lay them flat, start the next roll, but it's also got all these pre-measurements so you know how much to overlap. This is really easy. I'm not going to do another one. In this clip, we can see how we're removing the plastic from the self-adhesive part of the asphalt roll. As you pull out the plastic from underneath to reveal the self-adhesive material, you want to pull at a 45-degree angle to ensure that you don't break or rip the plastic, but it also makes it easier to keep your membrane at a smooth, level surface to keep it nice and flat during install.
That's the goal. You didn't always do it right.
We gotta rotate this. Really expensive. Like a rich car. Like a luxury one.
This roofing stuff, it's heavy.
900 pounds each.
If you know a roofer, don't fight with them, because they're strong. Jesus. This stuff's heavy. When you're working on the roof, you really always want to have at least one person on the ground.
Or have some on speed dial for quick access. Our ladder fell. So we're stuck on the roof. But we have a good 45 minutes worth of work. So you don't have to brush.
New rolled roofing installed.
We did it. We did it, Jake. We did it.
Today is another sheetrock day. Putting up the sheetrock on the ceiling of the TV room. Now we got a mud. I hate sheetrock. I am so full of irrational rage from sheetrock. Well, I don't like it.
So why do you hate sheetrock so much?
I hate sheetrock because it gets everywhere. You can't escape it. It feels like it goes on forever. There's no end in sight. And especially in the TV room, there were no windows for any of it to escape out, and it just sat in a more dense and dense cloud, getting on everything, consuming every pore and every crevice of my body, and I hate sheetrock. I have said for years, over and over again, this is the last time I will ever do sheetrock. And somehow, you keep having me do sheetrock, and I hate it.
Look at a math thing going on.
So one of the goals of the TV room is to try to create some sort of faux sunken living room feel. With that, we created this wall that acts as the back of our couch, and then created this integrated light system. The intent of the light is to give a nice loungy, glowy vibe along the outside, just to sort of give that real like nestled in feel. So while building this wall to help create the sunken living room feel, we included this channel that we installed the Hue light strip into. It's all painted white on the inside to help reflect the light, and the Hue light strip is pointed towards the back so that all the light reflects back to you instead of having any hot points of the light at any point. We also routed out the surface of this so that the acrylic could lay down in. We cut down strips of acrylic, and to help make sure it was extra opaque, we use an opaque spray paint to give it just a little bit more tint. And then that slides into the routed out edge, giving us the integrated light. Strips are in the channel. And some of the finer details, we used a high gloss paint so that the light would reflect better and help fill the room when the big light's not on.
All right, so downstairs room is in cleanup. Got the wall in. I painted it the same kind of brown color there, but it looks orange here for some reason. And then in here's the TV room. Custom built couch is going to go here, down to there, and then come this way so that you can walk in from that. And then outside, I've started this little pergola thing. Got to finish the wall, the stoop, and then the step will come out to that second pole. And then we've got to finish demo inside. Brr.
Demo is probably one of the most exciting parts. It's always one of the ways to feel like there's the most progress because you've got gravity working with you.
Another thing we're never good at with a project for demo specifically is remembering trash management plans in the beginning.
Yeah.
So, piece of advice, or pro tip, I guess. Make sure that you've got a plan for any of the debris so you don't pile it in your side yard for like a week and a half before figuring out what to do with it.
I mean, to be fair, that was the plan. So here's a fun discovery. Water heater vent does not connect to the roof vent.
So we mentioned earlier that we really didn't change the layout of the existing space that much. We used the resources that were there. Again, the shower drain, the toilet drain, all of that fun stuff. But in our new design, there was one big piece that moved, and that was the vanity or the sink. Because the bathroom that was existing was much smaller, the sink was a lot closer to the toilet. We wanted to open that space up and give us a little bit of elbow room to, you know, get ready and such. In this process, we raised the subfloor about 10 inches, and that gave us the space underneath to run the additional drain for the sink and the plumbing. And by raising the floor, it allowed us to have the proper grade and drainage for what was a single stall shower to our double stall shower. You also need the proper drainage and level floor space to work with to create the curbless shower effect as we did.
It's getting real. Part of this renovation process was pushing out what is now our bedroom into this down space room, into our closet. That created a cavity underneath that push out. Since we had some IKEA cabinets left over, we decided it was best to reuse those to add additional storage by placing them inside that cavity. However, the IKEA cabinets were a little too tall for the space that we were putting them in, so we had to cut them down to size so that they would fit into the space.
By being able to reuse these IKEA kitchen cabinets, it also gave us integrated storage, which left us a little bit of additional floor space in the new closet. So to give us a little extra floor space in our bedroom, as we mentioned, we bumped out the bedroom wall into this lower space. It's going to create kind of a built-in headboard situation around the bed itself. However, we'd already done this once already by doing it in our kitchen to gain room for our fridge. So we were familiar with the process, but basically the way we handled it was, because this is the original exterior wall, we knew it was going to be load bearing to the main roof. So we did put up some bracing, removed the wall, and then put in the new header, which was made out of 2x10s with a 1/2-inch sheet of plywood sandwiched in between.
Finally getting to the framing is when things start to take shape and you can see what this new space is going to actually look like.
What I like about the framing is then you start to get the visual reference also. So now you're walking through what was an open space, and now you get to see where the walls are going to be placed and how the space is going to get used.
This is your last chance to make sure that the walls are where they should be and you don't need to make any final adjustments.
Similar to the TV room, we wanted to create some integrated lighting in our bathroom. Again, big fans of low indirect lighting. So in this space, instead of lighting upwards, what we did is went downward. So when we built this wall extension, we bumped out this wall. We created the similar channel. In this case, we used the 2x4 that we used for framing, routed out a 3/4 inch channel. That's what holds the hue light. And then we used the same high gloss enamel paint to give a little bit of extra reflection. And then we used a lot of silicone in that same acrylic. In this case though, we did not opaque the acrylic because we wanted it just to be a little bit brighter. And because the hue light strip needs to be plugged in somewhere, we didn't want an outlet that was going to be exposed, possibly getting wet. Also just visually wouldn't have been very pretty. So we came up with an idea of how to create kind of a hidden hatch. And so on the side of the wall here, we used a set of magnets to hold the piece of molding tight and integrated the outlet right into the wall.
So with the double shower, we were worried about this feeling like a cave once it was all done, so we decided to put a window at the end of it. The window looks out onto a field that is completely abandoned and also has woods and stuff beyond that. So we're not worried about privacy. Plus, once the shower starts, this opaques really quickly with steam. Ready? Uh-huh. Oh, it's beautiful.
A lot of light.
Uh-huh.
And it was at this point in the project that I got really sick.
Like, I've never seen him this sick.
I had the flu.
For
The worst I'd ever had.
for over 2 weeks.
With 102 to 103 fever constantly. It was bad.
It was real bad. So not much got done during this time. Bit of an update. I haven't really been filming too much the last couple days because we've just been so intensely trying to get this done. It's taking forever. But we have all the insulation up, the electrical run, a lot of the sheetrock going up, subflooring in, of course, plumbing roughed out. Having a few issues with plumbing, but we're figuring out. It's coming along. Lighting's in. We're not working in the dark anymore. Stairs are working. Nice transition. Got this all framed in for the bed to be pushed back into. Biggest thing we're working on today is we're gonna get the subfloor in and the concrete board in for the shower basin, so we can start doing our flooring and then our tile and start getting into the actual details of all this. So today we've gotten pretty much all the painting done. We still have to do the cut ends and stuff. And then also got the flooring done in the closet and stairs. Beadboard is painted gold. And of course had to paint the fixtures. So to keep costs down, we try to reuse as much as possible, including these wardrobes, which are actually just IKEA Billy shelves with cabinet fronts on them.
This is, I think, their third life in this house altogether. But one of the main ways that we had to get it to fit in here so it was flush up against the wall is we did have to cut out the bottom gap. So I think IKEA originally makes them with a little bit of a gap for small molding. We were using the 1x4 inch molding in this space, so we did have to kind of modify and adjust so they would sit flush up against the wall so that they could get secured properly.
We also use a shellac primer that's really good for adhering to IKEA's typical surfaces that allowed us to use paint to change the color so it would match the rest of the color scheme of the room. These cabinets came with the house originally when we bought it, and they were in what we had as the primary bedroom. We've moved them a couple times and repurposed them. Now that they're down here, you can see that they were black. At one point, we opaqued the glass so that you could hide the clothes, but that doesn't matter now because even that has been painted. We used that shellac primer on all of the surfaces, and that really helped the paint adhere. All the clothes have been moved in the closet. You feel good about this?
Yeah, I don't know how they all fit.
I don't know how they're going to fit.
They're the same, we actually have more cabinetry, so I don't. And finally, we were to the most satisfying part. We were able to get all the concrete board down and start our tiling.
And this lasted for what felt like months. This has been forever, but it's almost done. Last tile.
Last tile.
Woo!
Oh, look at you don't get too close to it.
Yay! Congratulations.
I'm out of these clothes.
So the tile is now all grouted and sealed. It's time for hardware. Yep, 3 months of work coming to this.
I don't even want to turn it up.
That's pretty damn cool. So when it's all done, it has been incredibly rewarding. It has changed our morning routine. It has really given us a place that feels like solace and sort of like a spa at home.
It was a really long project, but like Jake said, it was very satisfying. It's really nice to feel like your decisions and little details along the way and all that planning and intricate detail that it takes to get you to this point finally pays off.
It was also our biggest project we've ever done at the house, including 3 rooms, technically 4 if you separate the closet and the bathroom, and just massive.
More impressively, we were able to get it done, all of it, in 3 months.
Just under.
Just under 3 months.
We do have a new problem though, and that is deciding which shower to use. Are we gonna use the nice new indoor shower or the nice outdoor shower?
So thanks for watching and following along.
If you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that little bell icon to be notified each time we have a new video coming up. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok where we post additional content. Also, check out our blog. It's at rodneyandjake.com with additional content. We'll see you next time. So, how about this other window?
That was used in the 1960 Texas war against Texas. It was a drive-through window, actually. It's where the horses would get food when they drove through the
So
state.
that's the guest room, the current guest room, right?
Yes.
And it was
This is going to be the view from the shower. So imagine I'm showering and watching the television.
nice.
We're trying to film. I need it silent on set. So thanks for watching. No. And you're watching Disney Channel. I think we should continue standing like we're the FBI or something, though.
We need to do like the thing.